Hey YouTube, this is Mike, also known as the Wizard of Odds, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the Iron Cross strategy in craps, both how to play it and what to expect from it if you do play it. So I will be playing it over on my demo game at wizardofodds.com, which you see right now. And let me scroll up for a minute. If you're going to play it here, click Leave Winning Bets Up. And it's up to you if you want to leave your bets working on a come out roll, but the way most people play is they don't have them working. So I'm going to uncheck that. So let me scroll back down. And next I need to decide on a unit size. I'm going to choose $5. It is a come out roll right now, so we do nothing at all. We just roll the dice without any bets. So there's a 10. So we're ready to start betting. So we bet 1 unit on the field, and we also make place bets of 5, 6, and the 8. And bets on the 6 and the 8 should be in increments of $6. So I'm actually betting 1.2 units on both the 6 and the 8. So let's roll the dice, and there is a 6. So our place bet on the 6 would have won $7, but we lost 5 on the field for a net win of $2. Let's remake both our field bet and our place bet on the 6 and roll again. Yo 11, we just won the field and that got kept up. And there's a bet on the 9, another winner on the field. And there is an 8, so our 8 place bet on the 8 would have won 7, but we lost 5 on the field for a net win of $2. So let's remake that field bet and go again. And there is a 5, so our place bet on the 5 would have won 7, but we lost 5 on the field, so another net win of $2. So let's remake our field bet. And we rolled a 4, so the 4 is a winner on the field, so $5 won there. And keep going. And there is a 7, so we just lost everything. And if you look at the balance field down in the lower left, we are down $1. So let's do it again. It's a come out roll, so we do nothing. There is a 6, so we're ready to start betting. And here we go. Yo 11, winner on the field. There's a place bet win on the 8 for $7 win on the 8, but $5 loss in the field for a net win of $2. And let's remake that field bet and go again. And okay, so there is a win on the 6. So much like the previous roll on the 8, we had a net win of $2. And it is now a come out roll. So we do nothing. Our place bets get turned off. So we just safely roll the dice. Okay, now things are working again. So let's remake that field bet. A winner on the field with the 3 and go again. Another net $2 win on the 8. So let's remake our field bet. And yay, there's a 12. That's the best possible roll. We just won $15 on the field. Because this game has the liberal version of the field bet that pays 3-1 on the 12. And we will talk more about that later. There's a win on the 9, and a nice $5 win on the field that is not offset by anything else. And a 7. We just lost everything. And amongst all those bets, we have a net win of $13. So I hope you understood it, and let's talk about the math of the game next. Now let's talk about the math of the Iron Cross. And I'm going to do this a couple ways. First, let me present this way. So here are the various ways you can roll 2 dice. So you see the totals from 2 to 12. This is the number of ways you can roll each of these totals. I hope you understand why these numbers in the ways field is correct. I do go over 2 dice probabilities in my videos on craps math and SICBO math, but I'm not going to do that in this video. So this column C shows the probability of any given total, and this column D shows the net win, assuming the player makes $5 bets on the field and the 5 and $6 bets on the 6 and the 8, as I did in the demonstration. So as you can see, the player would win $10 on a 2, $5 on a 3 or a 4, a net win of $2 on a 5. On a 7, he loses the full $22, and so on. And this is for the liberal version of the field that pays 3 to 1 or $15 on a 12. So the expected win is the probability of the roll times what you win. In other words, column C times column D. And if you add up column E, the expected win, it shows that the player can expect to lose 25 cents per roll. So if the player is betting $22 per roll and his expected loss is 25 cents, if you take 25 cents and divide it by 22, you get 1.14%. So you might be asking at this point, isn't that a lower house edge than every individual bet? For example, the liberal field has a house advantage of 2.78%, the 6 and the 8 at 1.52%, and the 5 at 4%. And it would be a very good question. And let me explain why this method only comes to 1.14%. So let's consider the bet on just a 6 or an 8, on a place bet on a 6 or an 8, betting $6 on one or the other. So if you win, you get 7. If you lose on a 7, if you win, if you score the point, say you bet on a 6 and a 6 is rolled, you win $7. If a 7 is rolled, you lose $6. There's 5 ways to roll the 6, 6 ways to roll the 7, and by the same math, it shows that if the player can expect to lose basically 9.1 cents for a $6 bet. So if you divide that 9.1 cents by 6, a $6 bet, you get a house edge of 1.52%. And this 1.52% you can find in my book, all over my website about craps. It's a very trusted figure. But that is assuming the player keeps the bet up until it is resolved, and anything other than a 6 or a 7 does nothing. You just roll the dice again, which is true. But what if we counted all of those numbers besides a 6 and a 7 as a push? So there's 25 ways to roll all those other numbers, and if we can count basically a push as a resolved bet, then the house edge goes down to 0.46%. And when we did it this way up here, we basically counted pushes on the place bets as a bet resolved, which we shouldn't do according to the classical way people have been calculating the house edge on place bets in craps for years. So here's another way to look at it. Here are the bets we are making in the Iron Cross, the 5, 6, 8, and field. Here is the traditional house edge of each one, defined as the expected loss per bet resolved. Here is our bet sizes on each of the one, and here's the average rolls to complete each of these bets. For example, a place bet on the 5 takes an average of 3.6 rolls to resolve it. So if we define the expected win as the probability of, the house edge of that bet times the bet size and divide it by the number of rolls it takes to resolve that bet, we get these figures here in the E column. And if we add up those, we get the same expected loss of 25 cents per roll that we did up here. But if we calculate the expected bet as the bet size divided by the average rolls to resolve the bet, we get these figures here. And if we add up column F here, we get an expected, shall we say, new bets on every roll of 10.06, as opposed to the $22 in bets we were counting up here. So if we divide a 25-cent loss divided by expected new bets of 10.06, we get a house edge based on bets resolved only of 2.49%. So that is what I say is the house edge of the Iron Cross. But let's look at it. Let's do a simulation of it to see what that comes up with. To analyze this even deeper and to confirm my analysis in Excel earlier, I wrote a simulation to play the Iron Cross billions of times. In other words, billions of shooters, to see what would happen. And in my simulation, I bet in increments, or shall I say with a $10 unit size, so a $10 bet on the 5 in the field and $12 on the 6 and the 8. So with the liberal field that pays 3 to 1 on a 12, I went through 13,650,000,000 shooters, and that equated to about 116 billion rolls of the dice. About 82 billion of those rolls were actually bet on. The total amount bet was 1,647,000,000, and so on. The net win at the end of the day was a loss of about 41 billion. So the ratio of the amount won to the amount bet was a loss of 2.49% of money bet. And let's go back to our analysis here. And there we go, the house edge of 2.49%. So my simulation agreed with my math. And I did the same thing with the 2x field. Those results are here. And let's do a little bit more of a comparison. Let's scroll all the way up here. So I recorded how often we saw every single net win or loss. And by far the most common outcome was a loss of all $44 bet. That happened nearly 1/6 of the time, which is to be expected because after a point is established, that's when the players start betting, and 1/6 of the time there will be an immediate 7 for the dreaded 7 out. So, what did we see overall? Well, the median outcome with the 3x field is a loss of $18, and with the stingy field, it was $20. Here are the net probabilities of a loss, tie, and a win. Let's change those to a percentage, and let's give it one more digit of precision. So with the 3x field, we saw a net loss 65% of the time, a tie, in other words, breaking even 1.8%, and a net win of 33.3%. Compare that to the stingy field, the probability of a net win drops to 32%. A 90th percentile outcome, meaning that you were at the 90% point on the bell curve, meaning that there was a 90% chance of doing worse, 10% of doing better, is a win of $58. At the 95th percentile, it was a win of $90, and at the 99th percentile, it was a win of $166. And you can compare that with the 2x field. You can see that those wins are a bit less with that stingy 2x field. And just out of curiosity, in all of these 13.65 billion shooters, the best possible outcome was a win of $1,044. So there you go. in more plain simple English, what you can expect to see with the Iron Cross is, as it shows right here, 60% of the time on a per shooter basis, you're going to lose. But when there is a hot roll that goes significantly more than the 8.5 average rolls per shooter, you're going to do well. So it's kind of volatile. The trade-off is you have about a 2 in 3 chance of losing, but when you do win, you can do pretty well. So I really want to emphasize at the end of this video, as I do about all my videos on betting systems and strategies, that no betting system or strategy or combinations of bets is going to overcome the house advantage. In fact, not only that, it's not even going to dent it. As I showed earlier, this really is just an amalgamation of different bets, and the house edge is a weighted average of these bets of 2.49%. And yeah, that's it. Don't think I have anything else to say about this, except thank you for watching YouTube, and hope to see you in another video. And don't forget to like this video, or better yet, subscribe to my channel. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.